Oh, I got some ideas. Let's do revenue.
Okay,
Let's do revenue for Dan.
Okay, great. So
Okay,
again,
so
same thing. So
let's write down in
I'm
purple.
going to put the top 3 based on score here.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You can write them up on the board.
Okay.
Bookings.
Okay.
Online store.
Okay.
Corporate package. Younger customer. And let's leave the other one off because it doesn't apply to him, which is off-season rental.
Yep. I mean, you only want to do 3 or left few, but that's fine. 4 is fine. That's perfect.
Okay, so let's put up some ideas then.
Okay, let's put up some ideas.
So understanding his goals for bookings and online store. So here's what I was thinking. If we have merchandise that we sell, we can tailor it with his company logo, so he can give them out. So we offer that as a service.
So
I'll write that
custom
out.
swag.
Yeah, custom merch.
Custom merch. Bookings. For younger customers, Dan has a startup, so he's going to have programmers and designers and business development and marketing people. That's going to get that. So maybe there is. Where are they located?
So corporate packages. They're off the central west coast of Canada.
Okay, so they're close to, what is the
It's like an hour and a half north
Seattle.
of Vancouver.
Okay, so Seattle is close, right?
Close enough, yes.
Okay, so Seattle is close. Seattle has a lot of tech companies, Amazon, etc. So Microsoft. So we need to get, as it pertains to Facebook ads, etc. They don't have a case study yet for one of those companies, right?
Okay.
But they do have Blind. You've been there, and you're the CEO of, they'll have CEOs of other. Here's what they can do. This is what correlates between the corporate packages this is going to be for bookings as it pertains to understanding his goals. So his goal, yeah, exactly. Facebook ad targeting the Pacific Northwest. His goal is to build company culture. So if that's understanding his goals and getting to the bookings, in the booking form, you want to have, in the goals form, you want to have things like, what is your goal? Pre-populated, like you can have a pull down or other. One of the categories is team building. Another category could be, so this is basically goals assessment. That's all I have to note. That there's going to be a team building component in the goals. I mean, I can go into
team building package.
Package, yeah. I can go into more detail, but then you can really go like Chris Doe, kind of in the messaging component. Look, we already have 3 things here, or here we'll actually incorporate the younger team. Burnt out, and I got that from researching on the web what Digital Detox does. They make their events about like millennials and corporate people in San Francisco and tech going to these events and disconnecting, not having their cell phones, etc., and like just really connecting to each other. Connection, burnt out, need to disconnect.
Oh, you mean like disconnect to reconnect?
Yeah, disconnect to reconnect. Yeah.
I just told it.
So I'm literally using, you're asking me what's going through my mind. What I know, just like a journalist. I know Digital Detox because they're kids that used to work at in their mid-30s. They're cats that used to work at a startup that got burnt out. They left and they said, what kind of business we want to do? We want to run a business that does corporate retreats to disconnect. Great. Ollie's can copy or can look at that as a model, either partner or look at it as a model. So disconnect to reconnect. Reconnect. That's great. So do you see how I'm getting ideas by merging these 2 things? That's what the exercise is, basically. And you go as far as you can with as many as possible with the team. Keep on coming up with them. What's another one, Christo? Let's see if you can come up with one, Sang.
Is there anything that's obvious to you guys, an idea that you have?
Mash these into each other. So bookings.
Blue and blue.
Blue and blue, yeah.
What about our younger customer and a group event? So it doesn't have to be older people as a group, but maybe young people
So you probably have to probably have to show people that are younger to
Okay.
reflect the audience.
So photography with younger
Yes.
people.
Younger guests.
Also, if you want to get into specific things that are more, I think the visual language. So here's where you begin to have visual language. You already have a really well-established visual language and pictures, etc. It would be good to do some generational research into things that are happening now. So like, what are the styles that are really,
We should profile tech people that are in the 30s in the Pacific Northwest.
profile
That's what we need to do. Because we don't know that much about them.
people in
We know they have beards.
PW.
They like flannel.
Yeah, and they like Indian patterns and indigenous patterns, and
Stuff.
like that's really good, because ultimately the long-term survival of
They like great
the
coffee.
business. Coffee, you had it in the stylescapes already.
Yeah.
It's just going deeper into that, and there aren't profiles for that in the user profiles.
Right.
And then building content for them and building the visual language for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already getting some great ideas for the site. All right. Is that helpful?
Jose's the only guy who come up with ideas and describe them as great. So I love that.
All my
No, that's
ideas
really good.
are awesome.
They're amazing.
That should be
your shirt.
All my ideas are awesome. Well, I mean, ultimately, that excitement about being able to connect things that, look, Steve Jobs said it, that creative people, what they do is see patterns. And the only patterns you can see are the things you know. So the best thing to do is go out there and see more things. That's my recommendation.
All right. So that's it.
But we would have to do all of the users and all of the categories.
Is that enough for you to go do the profiles based on? Can you replicate this across the other 3 people? So you're gonna have a lot of buckets here, saying, because you can see that you have to do for each one. So this is 3 times 3. So it's gonna be like 9, a grid of 9.
This
things.
exercise usually takes about an hour and a half.
I think as a designer, I think what I need to know is like how to eliminate stuff that is less important, because this is gonna be a cluttered site again.
Okay.
Because we're trying to make a simple.
That's another exercise.
We will never get to wireframes.
Never get to wireframes.
I suspect something's going on, but I don't know yet.
Well, here's the thing.
Like there's a dead body somewhere?
No, listen, here's the truth. Here's the truth. You don't have to do any of the exercises. You just got to be a genius like me and sit there and do them all in your head. Like literally.
Tweet that.
But here's the problem. At the end of the day, it's about participatory, like having the client participate in this. It might not make any sense unless the whole team does it. You should do it with the team, not have one person be responsible for it. There's no point in doing the exercises if you're doing it by yourself. I mean,
No, there's a point.
but I'm saying you recruit somebody else to do it.
No.
with.
Let me take the opposite point of view, just for fun.
Yeah.
If you know that this exercise is generating ideas that you hadn't thought about, just to know that the exercise exists and you do it, you can prioritize yourself. Like, this sounds really important. I'm going to say that this is the focus here, and have some other loose ideas, but you can start to recognize something. Otherwise, it's just in your head and you're making arbitrary and very subjective decisions about what goes in, what goes out. It could be based on it's hard to do from a developer point of view, or it could require lots of graphics, or you don't have the messaging yet. But in truth, it's really important because it aligns to the key things in terms of increasing revenue and hitting one of their biggest goals, right? So you could run through this and think it through. It doesn't have to be done with somebody. It's more beneficial if it's done with somebody, but it doesn't have to be.
I agree. That's all good and done. I can't do it by myself. That's my point. I have a hard time doing these exercises unless I have other people's energy. But
That's just your management style. That's just your creative
That's my style. My creative
That's it.
style is to do
It's
things
not a fault of the
in
exercise
groups.
itself.
Right. Well, the exercises are really made for groups, is my point. You could do this in a notebook. You can do that in a notebook. Make your grid, put the whole things, write all your ideas down.
I get it.
So the prioritization that you do with the developer, who's sitting right next to you, is you do a matrix of all of these. In one axis, you have value to customer, high, and in this matrix, you have complexity, and this is for the developer, or difficulty level.
So it could just be difficulty.
Yeah, difficulty. And basically you have the same thing. You have low to high. So if something is...
You want to be in this quadrant here,
Right.
where it's easy to do and the value is quite high. So then you would take those Post-it notes and move them over here once you have enough of them.
Easy,
That makes sense, right?
hard.
So a lot of what we're doing here is to take away a lot of the subjectivity of why you make decisions, because it's all being measured against the ultimate goal, which is to increase revenue. Without the
So-
revenue, there's no business.
I'm going to just stick these in there real quick.
Wait, are you going to do that?
I'm just going to do it real
All
quick
right.
based on, Rashad, you correct me if I'm wrong. So custom merchandise, that's not necessarily the easiest thing. Complexity might be a little hard, value to customer.
No, it's super easy.
Customer, yeah.
Okay, here, you
right?
place that one.
You guys understand.
You came up with that.
Yeah, basically it's just slap a
building.
logo. It's not. It's like zero for the developer. So it's probably not going to generate a lot of revenue, but it could feel valuable.
Okay,
There you go.
all right. So Facebook ads targeting the Pacific Northwest, that's pretty easy.
Is it high to them?
To the customer, to Ollie's, or is
No, this is the
to
customer.
Ollie's?
So
Oh, okay, to the customer.
yeah.
Okay. Team building, this is of high value to the customer.
Team building, yes. And
Is it
package,
easy?
it's probably
It's
somewhere
like
here.
A little bit up there.
so if something hits this bottom right corner, your money.
Okay.
So you want to do the rest?
So yeah, let's just hear it. You help me out.
Is that
Photos
it?
of younger people, that's easy to do. Burnt out, disconnect to reconnect. That's a messaging thing. So that's actually pretty high value. Profile tech people. This would be good for us. This is not a feature. This is actually an exercise. We can put this aside. That's a to-do list. Photo of young guests. We already have that here. That is,
So trip planner,
not sure how.
that's
that
high
is.
value, but it's kind of
harder
complex.
to do, yeah. Case studies, that's kind of like in the middle.
Mixed
Their
business with
content.
pleasure. That's a messaging
That's
thing.
a messaging
So I'll leave it on the
thing. I'll
side.
leave it on the side.
Pictures from
Examples
corporate
of custom
events. That's.
Well, no, that's a feature of the site, and that's not that hard to do. That's easy and high value.
I don't think it's that high, but it's very easy.
Team building retreats.
Notice how then once we have a benchmark, we can either determine whether it's harder or easier to do. In abstract form, it can sound really easy or it can sound really hard, but you know that it's easier than this.
Custom trips,
But
for
it's not as
clients are
valuable.
harder to do. I mean, ultimately, this also goes into more granular feature definition. So we've only done a few things here. If we would have done all of them, there's going to be a lot of stuff on there, and you want to begin parsing this out with the client and with the team. This is usually done with the team that's going to build it. There's another exercise called Moscow. Must have, should have, could have,
Would have?
won't have,
Or won't
have. That you do on index cards and you write those down. So there's a bunch of different prioritization exercises. If you Google it, you'll find like 10.
All right, let's wrap up this
All right,
episode.
we're done.
Do you guys have any other questions? Let's finish it off, and otherwise, we're going to close out the show.
This is really valuable to know how to deeply understand the company, and so it's not about making pretty stuff, obviously, and I think it's really valuable to understand the company really well.
Because you're actually solving a purpose, right?
You're solving a business problem.
Because remember when I asked you about the LinkedIn design, you said that do it with a purpose. So if I do it with a purpose, then I can like know what exactly I want to implement and then design it accordingly.
Right. And you then also can know if you're going to waste your money building a feature that has low value to your customer. So featureitis is we want to throw everything in, like we want to make a video editor on the site, but it provides very low value to the customer, and then this is definitely something you don't want to do.
That's
So
a very
we're
good point.
we're talking about changing the way you guys think about how to design a website. Because a lot of times what you're doing is you're giving it a facelift, you're reskinning an existing site, and you're not looking at the
making
bones
graphics.
and the structure.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about user experience design, this is user experience design. And if we go back to Jose's definition of user experience design, it's making it easier for them to accomplish what they need. Essentially, right? I'm paraphrasing there.
Yeah.
Can you read it again, Jose?
Great user experience helps users find what they need faster by reducing the time between comprehension and action.
So it has to be easy to understand and easy to do. Then that's great user experience. And it's built around what they want and not what you want. So I think, personally, this was very valuable to me, and I feel like I've learned some new things today. So guys, I hope you feel the same. So like the video if you like it,
Leave us
and definitely
comments,
subscribe.
questions.
Because we're definitely
Pat?
looking to get to 5,000 subscribers, and we're only 100 or so away. So definitely would appreciate if
Please
you guys subscribe, because we'll keep making them if you keep watching and subscribe. Thanks very much for Jose and myself. See you guys next time.